Hey, hey.
Hey guys.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Love Talks with the Garcons. We are so happy to be here with you guys. As always, I am Irvin the Garcon.
Anderson.
You look cute.
Thank you.
And we are Love Talks with the Garcon, guys. Thank you for coming in tonight for another edition of our stream, our podcast. We are super excited, super happy to have you guys here with us. Pull up on the live. Tell us where you're watching from. Are you able to hear us okay? Share the live. Interact with us, guys. And we're going to have a good time tonight, as always.
It's been a long day.
It has been a long day. It has been a long day.
We're happy to be here tonight.
Yes, yes.
My vibe is kind of low. It's raining outside. But I'm here and I'm excited. I hope you guys had a good day as well. We celebrated our son's graduation today.
Yeah, man.
He's off to high school. So now we have two high schoolers and a kindergartner.
What's up, Miranda?
Who told us to do that?
10th grade. Well, Mel's going to be in 10th grade. Owen is about to be a freshman in high school.
And we have a kindergartner. What were we thinking?
We're almost home free. Can you guys hear us okay? Miranda, can you hear us okay? Let's get closer to the mic. Are we good? Talk to us. Let us know what's up. Let us know what's good. Yeah. Somebody said on Instagram, FinFan94. So weird calling you guys by your handles. The age gap is real. Yeah.
Fan though. It's
Fun. What up?
Is it
Fun. How do you say? Well, I guess give us the how you pronounce it on Facebook. Stephanie. So Fun 94. What's going on, Anderson? My brother. Good to see you.
We sound great. All right.
Awesome. So guys, go ahead and share the live. Those who are here already. What's up, Rayon? All the way out from Tulsa. Good to see you, bro. I think it's your first time, at least talking.
No, he's been here.
Yeah, but at least talking. I think you've been here before. All the way out here from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tulsa. Period. Representing for transformation. So I guess transformation is in the building. Thank you for joining us. Okay, great. So guys, do us a favor. Share the live. Those who are here already, if you have not done so, follow us on all of our platforms. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We are even on TikTok.
Yeah. We don't really frequent there.
We don't frequent. We gotta get you guys some content on TikTok.
Because we're those TikTok people. They be mad young, and sometimes I don't feel like we fit in. Are we young still, or are we not? I don't know.
Comment if you know a 50-year-old youth leader.
None of us are 50 though, bro.
Almost. Yes, sir. TC Nation is in the building. Was good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Okay. So we have.
What age do you become old? Like,
old
because I don't feel old.
Old is a state of mind.
I may be older than some people, of course, but I don't feel old.
Old is a state of mind.
I don't think old is a state of mind.
Yeah, always.
I'm always gonna forever young.
No, but you know what it is though. I feel older now. I feel older now because of work. I'm typically. There was a time I was always like the youngest person at work, but now to know that I'm no longer the youngest person at work is weird. It's always weird. I feel like I'm in education now. You have all these young teachers coming to work, and so yeah. Speaking of education,
no.
Huh?
Yeah.
What? We're done. You're done with your summer break.
Oh, summer break. Yeah.
What you guys gonna say? What? Oh no. We are on summer break officially. We are officially on summer break.
Woo-hoo!
Mine started last week.
School's out for summer.
Yeah, mine was last. My last day was on Friday,
and mine was today.
Technically today.
Yesterday it was my last day because I took the day off today.
Yeah, guys, we have a great topic for you guys. So
yes.
We're stalling a little bit.
Let's no more stalling, babe. Like those.
But I need them to share it. Did you guys share yet? Did you share with at least 5 people?
How many?
5 people. Did you share at least 5 people?
It's all. It's really simple to share, guys. Just share, and like if they don't come, they don't come. But the person that you share with, they may be grateful that you shared it with them because they really needed this. So
right. So let me share with 5 people real quick. I need you guys to do the same
and share with 5 more.
5 more people.
Because I shared with like 75.
Yeah, I was doing groups, so now let me do actual people before so we could get this thing started.
All right, I think we should get started now because watching the playback, this stalling at the beginning is really annoying.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, guys. Those of you who come back, thank you, Miranda, for sharing. You know, you're the Love Talk Member of the Year.
Yeah, we have a prize for you, girl. You got a prize for you. Give you a break from Junior. That's gonna be a prize. See, the counter went up. Okay, so let's get started. All right, y'all. So for today's topic, what we want to talk to you guys about is the title says the title says what does the title say, Ann?
If you see my eyes closed, don't worry, I'm awake.
Yeah, okay. So tonight we are going to be talking about graduating in relationship. Graduating in relationship. You need to graduate in your relationship. You need to graduate in your relationship. So we are inspired. If you guys don't know, every time we do our lives are it's structured, but at the same time, it's also very fluid. We
try to be a little thematic based on what's going on in the current events, right, and what's happening. And since this is graduation season,
we were inspired
to do a topic on graduating in relationships. Now, kind of sounds cheesy, but y'all, it really isn't, right? Because if you think about what does graduate mean, babe?
So graduating means you're basically passing from like different stages, different experiences, hopefully reaching a higher level, right?
Like in other words, excelling.
You're excelling. So in other words, I'm going from pre-K.
Mm-hmm.
They tell you step up. No, I'm sorry, not 3K. No, preschool.
Okay.
You go from preschool. And then you step up to pre-K, 3K. And then from 3K, you step up to pre-K.
Mm-hmm.
From pre-K, you step up to kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
From kindergarten, you step up to elementary school. And then you start to graduate, right? So you go moving from stepping up to graduating. So you graduate from elementary school. And then we go from middle school. And then we go to high school. And then undergrad, college, master's, which is grad school, PhD, and then we get those honorary degrees. But we ain't gonna go there.
Right, but no, like what, like I mean, so, but in what he shared, like as you are excelling in academia, right? Don't you think it's probably you should be excelling in relationships as well?
There's definitely a connection there for you to be excelling and graduating and moving forward in your relationship. That's going to be stagnant.
Because in school, like as you're graduating, you're building upon what you previously knew, right? So there was this background knowledge or this basic foundational level that you had. And each year you're building, it's like building bricks on bricks on bricks until you establish this house of a human that can now go into the world and and be effective in different spaces. And so I think in terms of relationships, it's so connected.
It's very connected.
Right? It's so important that we think in that realm when it comes to our relationship, because if you are still on a kindergarten level and you're supposed to be in 3rd grade, something is wrong. Right? Like we have kids who are in 3rd grade.
You get left back.
Right. No, but they're reading on a kindergarten level because they haven't received the foundational skills. I won't say received, but learned.
Make the connection, boo.
right? They haven't learned the foundational skills in order to be effective in that stage. So there are certain people who are in relationships, who've been in relationships for so long, but who are still operating on a foundational level, remedial,
You need an IEP.
basic, right? IEP-ish, or you miss some of the important things that necessary to be where you should be.
Some of the core
You got it.
foundational things that you need to grow in academia, right? And if you did not know, if you visit our website, which is gcventures.org, where Love Talks is also living, once you go to our website, one of the things that you would see on our website, our model basically, it's basically saying we want to take your relationship or relationships from surviving to striving to thriving, and then ultimately to reach bliss, right? So that's our goal as a unit, and what it is that we are doing to help you to graduate, right? From just having a surviving relationship to it being a striving relationship to it being a thriving relationship, and ultimately reaching bliss. We haven't reached bliss yet. We haven't reached bliss yet. So we are doing the work also to be able to reach bliss. There was a time where N thought we were just striving, but then when we look at the different categories in our model, we realized we were actually, thank God, at thriving, right? We are in the thriving stage. So our goal as Love Talks, our motto is to go from surviving to striving to thriving, and ultimately to reach bliss. So with that same thing in mind, the same thought in mind, we definitely want to make sure that we're having this conversation about your relationship. Is your relationship graduating from one stage to the next, which is what inspired this live tonight? Because if you go on social media, Facebook in June, all you're seeing is graduation ceremonies, right? People celebrating getting these certificates, people elevating or stepping up or leveling
they've excelled
up.
and you can, and they've earned it. Like they've earned that spot. Because they put in the necessary work in order to be there. Okay. We already have some questions that are rolling in, so let's stop and answer some questions.
No, we're not. Actually, no. Stephanie, Miss Charles, that's a really great question that you're asking. If you really want to know the answer to that question, she was asking, what is the difference between remedial relationship, striving, and all that? I want you to sign up for the webinar. We're going to dive in more. Next week, if you guys did not know, next week, we're actually going to be doing a webinar. So we will not be live next week, but we'll be doing, I think, our live to more. It's next week already. So if you haven't registered yet.
Do I look excited?
That is crazy that it's next week already, y'all. So if you haven't yet registered yet, we're gonna dive in next week.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's gonna be dope. Next week we're actually gonna dive in about what it means to take your relationship from surviving to striving to thriving, and you get more or less our vision what that looks like. So Stephanie, to answer your question, register. Make sure you register. If you are not registered for the webinar next week at 8 o'clock,
definitely
it'll be 1 hour earlier at 8 o'clock. For you to get an idea more about what it is that we mean with that particular mission statement or model. That's where you're gonna get the discovery at. So that's a really, really great question, Stephanie, because she was asking what would it be an example of remedial, but specifically what would not excelling. So some of these questions we want to make sure we unpack. She said, I got you. Good. Gonna see you next week. Steph, make sure you do register to get that Zoom link for the webinar.
And guys, it's not only for people in relationships. It's for people who desire to be in relationships.
If you're married, it doesn't matter where you are.
And it's for people who are in relationship, period. We're in relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic, right? There are certain tools that you can learn from our webinar next week that will translate into all types of relationships that you have in your life. So yes.
Yeah. So what you guys can do, and you did open this window for us. You can also take a screenshot of the flyer, and you could use this QR code to register, or you could just go straight to this link. To the link. It's case sensitive, bit.ly/L capital L capital T capital W webinar 1. Okay, that's how you will get. And we want to shout a lot of you guys have already registered for it. So it's going to be
Whoop, whoop.
amazing. It's going to be an opportunity for us to have live conversations, and teach you a little bit more about what it is that we're planning to do, and you get an idea about some of our visions for the remainder of
Yes, yes, yes.
this year. We're excited. We have a lot of things that we want to do with you guys. So
I open up my eyes. Oh, I'm sleeping.
make sure you're out registered, guys. So it's not going to be a quick one. It's going to be a quick and dirty. And next week we are going to dive
Quick and dirty?
quick and dirty.
What does that mean?
It'll be a quick and dirty live.
What do you mean by dirty?
I like dirty.
No, but what do you mean by dirty?
It's just a term, man.
I never heard that before.
Comment if you ever heard the term quick and dirty before.
What does it mean? What does quick and dirty mean? Like
We'll look it up later.
in and out, like that?
In and out. Yeah. Pause it. Anyway, graduating in a relationship. So in the context of a relationship, graduating basically means you are moving from different stages, right? It could be moving from we're just talking to being serious, to being committed, to being I don't know, engaged, to courting, to marriage. So it's stages moving in together. Well, no, not really.
After you're married.
After you're married. Okay, cool. So these are different milestones that can happen in a relationship as you are graduating, right? Think about also buying a house together, starting a family, challenges when they come up. How do you navigate these challenges together? Setting and reaching some financial milestones, growing together. So these are all different stages that happens in a relationship that people are not or should be striving for. You definitely should be striving to graduate. Now, my thing is this: if you see yourself, you are stuck in one stage, the talking stage, and you haven't graduated yet to the next, either the school might not be working, they don't have the resources, they don't have the tools to move forward. So those are some things that you want to think about in that particular relationship.
So in other words, if he still hasn't committed and it's been 5 years, he might need an IEP.
Tutoring,
yeah,
speech services.
Something is
OT.
wrong. He needs to and not just she as well, because there's some women who can't commit either as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to only put it on the men, but you know who you are. If you're in a relationship that you feel should have been somewhere else by now or further along, and it's not, there's a breach in the system.
Yeah, there's something happening.
Something is happening
because you are in this relationship for, put it this way, right? You're in this relationship for 5 years. So that means you should be probably 11th grade. We're still stuck on year, what's 11 minus 5? 6. So you're reading at a 6th grade reading level. You need some kind of intervention.
If you start to think of it in that sense, then it's like you start making the connection. Like, okay, you start to see, okay, something is not okay. I have to pay attention to this. I have to talk about it. We got to talk about this.
You're stagnant.
We have to find some help.
Yeah, it can't be stagnant. You have to graduate, right? You have to move up. You have to step up. Something must be happening. Now, we talked about timeline before. I don't know if it was a live or if it was a content video. Everybody's timeline is a little bit different. Should everybody be at the same stage after 5 years, after 6 years in a relationship? Not necessarily. You have to find out what your normal is, right? At the same time, there are certain things that should be happening to get to the next level in your relationship, right? And so it's super important that you guys are finding out what those things are and having those discussions accordingly.
And that's very mutual. Relationships take two people. If it's one person that's trying to graduate and one that just keeps getting left back, then you probably just need to leave him and let right? Like some of the decisions are simpler than we make it.
Yeah.
Right. If we look at it from the right perspective.
Yeah. It's like a group project. One person is doing all the work while the other person is chilling. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
All right. It's not gonna work.
All right. So let's get into the meat.
All right. The meat. Pause. All right. So we had some of the milestones that we just talked about, right? So graduating again, you're reaching a deeper level of understanding, commitment, partnership with your person, right? And so we want to give you guys some key ways to graduate in a relationship.
We're
It's
only going to
just
talk about 5 tonight.
only 5, only it takes, because we want you guys to make sure you come up to the webinar next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Go, boo.
All right, so we've talked about this one a lot, and I think in every live it's always going to come back to this, babe, because this is like the number one thing in relationships that causes either it to grow or to
Not grow.
or to or to break apart
Fizzle.
or to fizzle. And it's effective communication. Okay. When you prioritize open and honest communication in your relationship, where you're able to share your thoughts regularly, your feelings and your concerns, that's healthy. It's healthy. If your way of communicating has not been working and has not been working for 5 to 6 to 7 years, you have to find a better way. If you think about it, if you continue to settle for what is not working, it's kind of silly. It shows a lack of maturity. If I know that when we communicate, this style is not working for me, it's not working for us, I'm not going to use it anymore because it's just not our normal. It doesn't fit into our toolbox, right? So it's important that we find the best strategy that works for us. And that shows maturity. That shows graduation. When you can adopt a new way of communicating that finally works, it shows that you were intentional about doing the work, intentional about putting in the work, intentional about seeking out to find something better, right?
Yeah. And in the field of academia, for example, one of the things that we always talk about when it comes to academics, we always say, hey, how do you plan to get this kid from this place to the next phase? How do you plan to help them to bridge the gap in their deficiency, in their as far as being behind, right? And so if the communication is not happening, it's not working the way it's supposed to be happening, how are you going to help to bridge that gap to move from ineffective communication to effective communicating, right? So it's very, very important. And these are, again, things that we want to definitely unpack in our webinar. So we're just giving you the surface level things.
If I tell you, sorry, I want to just add a little bit more. If I tell you that when you raise your voice at me, I don't hear you anymore, and you continue to raise your voice at me,
you got to graduate.
Bro, you need to graduate. Like you're literally talking to a wall, because I told you I don't hear you anymore. I don't like when you speak to me that way, right? That way of communicating does not work for us. And then you continue to do it over and over again. It shows a lack of maturity. It shows negligence. It shows that you don't care. And who not, I don't want to say who wants to be in that kind of relationship, because that may not be your biggest thing, right? That the biggest problem in your relationship. But we're supposed to show our person that we care about their feelings, we care about their thoughts, we care about their concerns. And so if she shares with you, or if he shares with you that a way that you're communicating is not working, adopt a new way.
And I'll add one more. It just left me. It was right there.
It'll come back.
It was so good.
It'll come back.
Oh my God. It was good, but it'll come back. Okay. All right. So the second thing, in terms of some ways to graduate in your relationship and marriage, is we need to learn how to resolve conflict. Conflict resolution is very key. Learn to handle disagreement constructively. You need to practice empathy, active listening, and also compromise. Right? Some people are not able to do it because they don't know how to compromise. They don't know how to disagree constructively. They don't know how to practice empathy. Some people are so focused on themselves that they don't even know empathy means. What does empathy mean? It means to walk in the other person's shoes, to try to feel and understand where they might be coming from, see their perspective. And a lot of us don't know how to do that. right? Conflicts is inevitable. That's something that you cannot avoid. But there has to be someone in the situation that can be the diffuser. Again, these are more things you want to unpack in a webinar and things that will follow. So you need to make sure you know how to do conflict resolution. Listen, I'm telling you guys right now, we are, oh man, we are so excited about next week Wednesdays because there's so much we want to give and we cannot give it tonight. So make sure you might know someone right now who are not great in any of those areas, right? So make sure you share the link with them so they can register so we
How
can
much is
unpack
it?
this. It's free 99.
What'd you say, boy?
It's free 99.
Say that again.
It's free 99. And guess what? You join from the comfort of your own home. You don't even have to leave your couch. Now, what would be sad though is if you're late.
If you can't find parking, just let us know. We'll let them.
We will have valet.
Yeah, what?
We'll have valet parking. If you're late next week to this webinar, something is really wrong, right? But again, you have to make sure you register to get the link. We cannot keep emphasizing this enough. You do not want to miss next week, Wednesday, right? So these are surface things we're giving you tonight because next week, Wednesday, we're going to go on deep dive a little bit more.
So conflict resolution.
So conflict resolution, right? Yeah.
If someone has to be able to even out, right? The playing field, right? Balance it out again. If you're bumping heads in your relationship and you're constantly bumping heads and it's been the same way after like there's nothing has changed. Nothing has changed in the way that we resolve things. You're not being intentional enough about how to resolve it. You're not trying to find new tools that will work for you. Yeah. I feel like we settle a lot. We just let things be just how they are because we just do and it's like, why do we just let things be? Especially when it comes to relationships. Like, oh, that's just how we are. That's just how we do things. But who said that's okay? Right. Who said you have to do things that way? Right? Why can't you be the chain breaker? Why can't you be the trendsetter? Why can't you, do something different that works better? Why
can't you come to the webinar and get the tools? Hey, Stephanie. Yes, I do. I saw your registration, Stephanie. We saw it. So yeah, Steph, what you're gonna do is put it in your calendar. I'm gonna send the Zoom link to those who are registered.
Don't worry, you guys will get reminders.
Yeah, you get it by email, you get it by text, and you can just save it. Okay. All right. So again, do something different. Pull up on the webinar to get some tools, especially to reinforce whatever it is that you feel like you need to grow at. Right.
All right. What's the next one?
Next one: shared goals. Shared goals. Working together to achieve a common goal, whether they're related to finance, family, career, personal growth. In our case, our goals also include our children. They are involved in the growth and the things that we are trying to accomplish together, right? You have to ask yourself the question, how have we grown as a couple? What are some specific ways that you've leveled up as a couple?
Yeah.
Right? Was there any goals that you guys set together over the course of your relationship or marriage where you can say, wow, we did that?
Yeah.
That's ways you are graduating, right? It's about excelling in new heights to accomplish new things, to build things together.
And it's exciting when you see that you have set some goals for yourselves and you actually did it.
Yeah.
It just shows growth. It just shows leveling up. And guess what? If you haven't, it's not too late. It's not too late to set a goal. It could be a short-term goal, right? A short-term goal like, okay, we're going to buy a new car. Or it can be a long-term goal. We're going to get out of debt. You know what I'm saying? It could be any goal that you set together and you work collectively to make it happen.
Yep.
I feel like that's a sense of graduation from being at one stage, right? But then moving on to the next. And it's just a beautiful thing.
And one of the goals, if you want to give you a practical example, even us moving into this webinar space, right? that's a goal that we had for
that we
ourselves.
had.
Yeah, we do this the live every single Wednesday, but we
Guys,
want
notice he's gonna find every way to bring
listen.
us back to the webinar.
That's how important it is. That's how excited we are about it because that's a space we wanted to move from the live to the webinar space to be able to have this direct contact with people, to be able to really teach people. Again, our goal is to take your relationship from surviving to striving to thriving and eventually bliss. Right. So again, that's a practical. It just so happened to be a promotion for the webinar. That's a practical
That's a
goal,
practical
for
goal
example,
that
that
we
we
have.
have for ourselves. Right.
We have some other goals that we have written down, and like there's a verse in the Bible. I think it's Habakkuk 2 verse 2.
Write the vision and make it plain.
Write the vision and make it plain. Right. When you write it down and you put your work to it, like it's so beautiful to come back and see everything that you wrote down, and you can put a check next to it and just say, I did that. Like, yeah. Next I encourage you guys. The next one is, all right, intimacy. Somebody say intimacy.
Intimacy. It was Habakkuk 2 too, by the way.
Like, how are you maintaining physical and emotional intimacy in your relationship, right? How are you showing affection and ensuring that you both are pleased, right? That your needs are met, right? Yeah. Those in relationships, you can still be intimate without having sex, okay? You can still be intimate without being sexual, right? Bro, what are you doing?
You're trying to send a message, as always.
Yes, I'm always trying to send a message. Listen, if you're not married, you should not be having sex.
Not that you're trying to send a message to me.
Oh.
Because
I'm talking about people who are not in marriage.
I'm always touching you, so you don't think, sometimes you'll be like, that's not intimacy. That's not what I'm asking you.
Okay, gosh. So now the question is your intimacy, is it getting better? Is it the same, or is it worse? Right? Everything that's living, it does what?
Grow.
It grows. Everything that is living grows. Now, if work is not being put in to ensure that your intimacy is growing, right? You can unknowingly create a wedge between you that will it could possibly lead your person, or like kind of leave your person open to temptation. I'm just saying. If your person's needs are not being met, they've expressed that to you, and you have not put in the work to fix it, you can, like, they could be like outside on the streets and you know, the guy or the girl at work gives the attention or makes them feel a certain way, that can really open them to temptation. Right? Intimacy is so important. Your intimacy, it brings you closer. Your intimacy, it kind of gets you guys to a place where no one else has been. Right? It's reserved for just the two of you, and so your intimacy should be growing. Right? There's levels to this.
Graduating.
It should be graduating. It's a little touchy. No pun intended. But you really have to think about these things. Like if your person is expressing to you, that's back to effective communication. If they're expressing to you that in the area of intimacy, something is lacking for them, you got to find out what it is and do the necessary work to make it work. Bars.
Right.
What say you?
I concur with everything that you just said. But some people, again, if you do not know how to do it, see, again, going back to making about education, if you don't know what that looks like to do intimacy, when someone don't know something in school, what do? They go to tutoring, right? You got to find, you ask a teacher for help. So you have to make sure, in order to not be falling further behind, they seek help.
And I honestly, in the day and age that we're living in, there's no excuse anymore, because everything is at our fingertips.
Yeah.
Everything is at our disposal. You can find a course here. You can find a mentor there. You can find a coach here. You can find different people different things to help you, but you have to be willing.
Yes.
You have to be willing to seek those things out.
And these are all things when we're going back to shared goals. It's crazy. Going back to shared goals, everything that and it's talking about mentorship, coaching, doing masterminds. These are all spaces. These are goals that we have for ourselves. We want to take Love Talks to another level, and we need you guys to come along with us. All right. So if you're looking for help in those areas, let's start with the webinar.
Right back to it.
Just go right back to it. That's how important it is. All right.
And I think this is the last one. This is number 5, which is going to open up a little bit more to what the webinar, or to kind of serve me to share about the webinar. Anyway, number 5, guys. Somebody say this with me: continual learning. Continual learning. Guys, attend those workshops. Read those books. Seek that counsel. If you need to enhance your relationships, if you need to enhance your skills, if you need to enhance your knowledge, do those things. Right? It's sad to say, it's sad to see how relationships are kind of like the least thing that's invested in. Right? We invest in clothes, we invest in food, we invest in the kids, we invest in school, we invest in stocks, and so much more. And we leave, it's kind of like we leave our relationships up to chance.
No, and sometimes
either it's going to work or it's not.
But people also wait for when it gets bad to invest.
Right.
So they're not doing the work prior. They're not investing prior to something getting bad, or not even investing even before you're in a relationship.
Right.
Sometimes it's very good for you to invest even before you find your mate. There is work that you need to do for yourself. You need to discover: am I ready for a relationship? What does it take to be in a relationship?
Right. How can I prepare myself?
How can I be prepared? Like, even with the trauma, what trauma have I experienced that I need to get over to be successful in a relationship, right? So it's a lot of things you have to be learning, you have to be reading, you have to attend different workshops. Like one of the things,
come to my webinar.
Come to our webinar.
No, but like what you said, babe, it's almost like people wait until they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Until they're in a crisis in order to seek that help. But it's like, you know how they say it's better to be proactive than to be reactive, right? If you do the work before, you don't have to be in a bad space.
Yeah.
You can just gain more tools to add to your toolkit so that if by chance you were to get into something like that, oh, okay, I know how to handle this.
And we've actually known couples who, when they finally are ready to invest, to attend that workshop, to attend that counseling session, to attend that retreat, that person already checked out and it's a wrap. That's all she wrote, right? So again, these are just some things. And again, think of the context of graduating. There's works, there's things, there are knowledge gaps that need to be enhanced, that need to be bridged in order for you to successfully graduate and move to the next step, right?
Now, there's levels to this.
There's levels.
If you have been in a relationship for 10 years and you're still operating at like a year 1, when it comes to like important things, not when it comes to like, physical touch, like that's, you understand, I'm not talking about like being lovey-dovey, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about the hard stuff, the nitty-gritty of relationships and growing and putting that work in and communication and handling conflicts and you're still operating at a level 1, then you're not being intentional. And something has to be said. Like someone has to say something. Someone has to put their foot down. Someone has to want better.
Yeah.
Someone has to want to do better. Someone wants to have to see better for their relationship. You can't just let it fizzle and live in mediocrity. Like we are called to greatness. Like we're called to do greater, right?
And there's nothing worse than you sitting back, and it's not an envious thing. You sitting back, you see people gradually getting ahead of you.
Right.
They're moving ahead of you.
Then you want to talk bad about them. No, they put that work in to get there. Like, what are you doing to get yourself to where you feel like you should be?
And a lot of it is circumstantial. I get it because I was in the master's program. The circumstance was I was working full time and only going to school part time. So I saw, guys, a 2 year program. I must have seen at least three different cohorts graduate before me, and I felt like I wasn't gonna be able to graduate, right? But I eventually did it. I did the work that I was supposed to do. It took me a slower pace, right? But nonetheless, I did it. When I was in grad school,
Listen, that's a word right there.
mm,
It took you a slower pace, but you were still moving.
I was still moving.
You weren't stagnant. You weren't standing still.
I continued to learn.
You continued to learn.
I remember one night. Remember when I was almost. I went to almost a depression, banging my head against the wall because I couldn't understand chemistry. I was on the phone crying with this girl because I couldn't understand chemistry to save my life. College chemistry I was not about that life. But what I did is I went to the tutoring center, got me a tutor.
Come on.
I banged that C plus at the end of the semester.
What does C mean? What does C stand for?
Courage. And continuation. Yeah. I continued to learn. I developed the courage to continue to learn. I got myself not just a C, it was a C plus.
Listen, what does
C
plus mean? Not a negative.
It's a cross.
Ooh,
Jesus. Oh my God.
go.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Right? So continue to learn. Y'all, listen. It's gonna be amazing.
That was a 5, y'all.
That was your 5.
Let's recap. What was number 1?
Number 1 was
effective communication.
Yeah.
You gotta communicate effectively, y'all.
Let's go.
It will be the detriment of your relationship if you don't learn.
And we can unpack that even more at the webinar.
Let's go. Number 2.
Conflict resolution.
Conflict resolution. The way you've been resolving it has not been working. Find a new way.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Shared goals.
Shared goals. Set some goals together and work on accomplishing them.
Mm-hmm.
You will thank yourself for it. Number 4,
intimacy.
Is it getting better? Is it the same or is it getting worse? If it's going backwards, turn around. Find a way to go forward.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. And number 5,
continual learning.
Continual learning. Join our webinar. Period.
Listen, we will not be on social media next week. 1 hour start earlier, 8:00 on Zoom. Register and we'll make sure we send you guys the link. Okay. We're gonna keep it short. Like I said, today was a long day. Our babies graduated. We had a lot of celebrating. We want to see you guys next week. Make sure you are registered for you to get the link. bit.ly/L, T, webinar with a capital W and the number 1. Make sure you register and you'll receive the link by tomorrow. Share with somebody else and make them register. You know someone or some people who are dealing with some of those things that's preventing them from graduating in relationship, right? So make sure you also share that with them. You do not have to attend with your spouse. It'll be great if they're there with you on the Zoom. You don't have to be in the same space with them. Just make sure you are sharing the link so they can register and then they can get the Zoom link to make it happen. All right?
Yes, y'all.
That's all we had for you guys for tonight. Looking forward for next week. We will not be live. We'll be on the Zoom. And also remember, you can always support us by going to our website. Visit us at gcventures.org. That's our website where you can also find Love Talk South, other things that we are doing. And also you can shop. Make sure, shameless plug, but not really, by going to our website, you find like different items like this wonderful, beautiful hat that I'm wearing, along with some other things, and shipping, you get it right away. So make sure you visit our store to get some really, really dope merch. gcventures.org. gcventures.org and get your merch. Or you can also join our mailing list to know what else we are doing. All right?
Y'all, it's been real. Thank you so much.
It's been real.
For joining. We can't wait to get to register once again. I know we kind of drilled that into your brain.
It's that important. It's that important.
We'd love to see you guys. So until next time, deuces. And congratulations to all the graduates. If you've graduated this year,
Yeah.
congrats to you. And good luck on all your new endeavors.
Now join the webinar to graduate in your relationship.
This
Good
is
night.
out.